capitalism gone mad. To provide for your family today on your present salary is an impossibility in this country. So many bills to pay, there is no conceivable way to save for a rainy day in this country. Our voraciousness, to be precise, is why every damn thing so overpriced. Big business making everybody feel government give them an open license to steal. Would you believe me? One nylon panty is $19.90, $20 for some baby milk. The cheapest jersey costs over $60, $200 and change a yard for silk. It hard here in Trinidad. Lord have mercy, capitalism gone mad. It's sad, things getting more bad. Oh Lord, capitalism gone mad.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
To buy a pack of cigarette, just leave you with a hole in your wallet, and money is so hard to get in this country. Necessity or luxuries, it doesn't matter what the item is, they're charging anything they please in this country. Primary school books, price is lewd, is highway robbery, the price of food. All hopes and dreams elude the poor man, but politicians still expect good work attitude. Just imagine this, the cheapest coffee, over 3,000, not even dying today easy. Thousands of dollars for the undertakers, so you could get a spot in the cemetery. It hard here in Trinidad. Oh Lord, capitalism gone mad. The gladness that once we had is gone because capitalism gone mad. You got to have heavy contact, know how to move up in society to make any kind of impact in this country. You got to know how to chip the feel, how to scheme and swindle properly, perfect the art of wheel and deal in this country. I say survival in this land isn't easy for no man. With unemployment and high inflation, somehow we go dead before the end of this recession. Where the hell is this? Some mango chuli costing $3.50, $40 for one watermelon. Half your salary for fish meat.
Blue skies and gentle breeze. The Indians are waiting now to play the West Indies. A signal from the umpire. The match is going to start. The cricketers come on the field. They all look very smart. Irapali Prasana, Gigi Boy and Wadika, Krishna Murthy and Vishnu Mankad. Them boys could well play cricket on any kind of wicket. They make the West Indies team look so bad. we was in all kind of trouble. Joey Carew pull a muscle, Clive Lloyd get about 3 run out. We was in trouble without a doubt. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Venkataraghavan, Bedi in a turban, Vijay Jaishima, Jayantilal. They helped to win the series against the West Indies at Sabina Park and Queen's Park Oval. 158 by Kanai really sent our hopes up high. Noriega 9 for 95, the Indian team they still survive. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Rajan Jurani, Salka Abidali, Dilip Sadesai and Vishwanath. They make West Indies bowlers look like second raters when those fellows came out here to bat. West Indies tried holder and keep voice. They had no other choice. They even tried with Newton Dow, but a shot at the sorry they bring him now. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Little Desmond Lewis, also Charlie Davis, they take a little shame from out we face. But Sobers as a captain, he won plenty coaching before we cricket end up in a disgrace. Beatty here that he became a father, he catch out whole first in the cover. But when Sobers here, he too had a son. He made duck and went back in the pavilion. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, members of the commuting public. Those of you who are on your way to and from work. Those of you who have finished your 8 to 4. And for those of you who are now picking up work in this labor market, we do say good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to those of you who have decided to join us for these couple hours, to engage us, to edify, to share, to laugh. Sometimes it's just to laugh. It's not all that serious. We say good afternoon to you our esteemed members of the public, our esteemed members of the pavilion, because we are in a cricket match. In case you didn't know, we are in a cricket match, a live match. Good afternoon to the owners and operators of this great radio station, Mr. Neil Iwer George himself and his family, and by extension his hardworking staff in the office, the ladies in the office, the producer, you all who keep us on the right path and help us accomplish what we have to do, keep us on track, and we do say thanks for your service and for your kindness and for your openness and the ability to share this platform with you. Good afternoon to those of you abroad, wherever you may be, listening to the sound of our voices or watching us on YouTube. We want to encourage you to tune in to us on YouTube and Iwer TV, and viewing. You can make your comments via the same WhatsApp numbers, 342008146653991. You can make your commentary. If you're not really akin to calling, you could make your WhatsApp comments known. So we do want to thank you for giving us some more of your time on another day, and we cannot forget the Creator from whom all things flow, all blessings flow, everything under the sun, from whom we have life. We have life today and we give thanks. We do not take life for granted. There are people who are not so fortunate as you are. Even though things may not be perfect for you, you do have life, and we do say thanks to God Almighty for that. I'm here with Senior. Senior is here. So we have two umpires at the beginning of the match, and we will be here to take you through. Good afternoon, Senior Mattison.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all our listeners as usual. This evening promises to be another exciting evening in Trinidad and Tobago, where we untangle and analyze the issues that are in the news and that may need further examination. So good evening, and we invite you to listen and share it live.
There's a lot happening today. So many things happening today. Plenty things. Just a cursory glance will tell us King Charles is addressing the U.S. Senate. The Congress, as we speak. That is happening. That is important because America's historical relationship with Britain has been quite turbulent of late. Keir Starmer making it known that you're on your own on this one. You can't use our airspace and our landing strips. Except for defense, we will not be in any offensive action. And we're not joining you on no blockade with no strait. Normally,
which is a break from since World War I.
Yes. Normally, that is not protocol. Britain has been side by side with America in some very questionable things in the past, but they've been there. And some people say that is true friendship.
Well,
that is true support.
Britain was, when the guards changed in Britain to America, Britain was the last, not superpower, but the last reserve currency holder. And after World War and after the Bretton Woods conference and that kind of thing, that would have changed significantly to America being the reserve currency. So America grew significantly, and Britain always remained a sidekick for America. So it's now kind of strange seeing that kind of estranged relationship taking place.
And the news tells us that the king was warned to stay away from the Epstein discussion, because that is a sore point. Two things to stay away from: the Iran war and Epstein. Good, keep it light.
Correct.
Because, to be fair, the king is having his state visit as a ceremonial head. Because Britain has moved away from the monarchy.
Yes, the monarchy.
So he does not represent
This
the political will. Good? Or, but his...
time matters.
Yes. But his office is still well respected. He still holds a particular type of influence because, legislation or not, British people believe in the monarchy. I can't speak for this generation because we do know things have changed a lot, but Britain believes in their monarchy, and he's the king and the queen. They're both there, and they're addressing Congress as we speak. So that is in America. In our neck of the woods, Guyana's president is complaining to CARICOM. And he's complaining that in discussions with CARICOM neighbors, Venezuela is using a depiction of a map which shows the Essequibo as part of Venezuela. And that must touch a nerve. Now, for many different reasons, this ball that just bowled here falls gladly in the lap of our Prime Minister, who has been critical of our neighbors on different matters. One in which is the lack of clarity and action, especially in times of conflict. How, if, when CARICOM responds to this latest complaint, and the letter is an open letter, I have read parts of it, to the Kittian leader of CARICOM, because we do know that quite recently Ms. Delcy visited Barbados, inviting them to invest in their oil programs. So that situation is something that will warrant some type of response and sometimes some type of monitoring. I note with concern the public display of Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez during official engagements in member states of CARICOM community of a map purporting to incorporate Guyana's Essequibo region as part of Venezuela. Guyana fully respects the sovereign right of CARICOM members to conduct bilateral relations with all partners, including the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. However, it is deeply regrettable that such engagements have been accompanied by the prominent display of symbols asserting Venezuela's claim to Guyana's territory. The use of CARICOM engagements to project or promote a territorial claim against a member state risks being interpreted as acquiescence or tolerance. No action, whether deliberate or inadvertent, should create the impression that the community's platforms may be used to advance claims now for the International Court of Justice. Claims now before the International Court of Justice, CARICOM's principal support for Guyana must be reflected not only in declarations, but also in the context and the conduct of official engagements. This has been one criticism that always has been leveled of CARICOM. And now, if you didn't think it was true, Trinidad is not in this feud. This feud will be between Venezuela, Guyana, and the country in which Ms. Rodriguez visited. Although the country is not responsible for her actions, they were the host.
No. There are a lot of questions with respect to that because it's not the first time I've heard those claims.
Yeah.
But I know that there was something when the Caribbean was divided up, and when it had something to do with Britain,
Yeah.
and that part of the geography of Guyana, I think there was always some lack of clarity with respect to it. The fact is, Venezuela has always displayed that as their territory. And I don't know when it became a problem, if it was when Guyana started discovering oil or whatever, but what I could say is that, it is a genuine concern because eventually countries, when they become strong enough to take certain kind of action, they may activate and say, well, look, listen, it's like Russia. Listen, we are taking back what belongs to us. We see it happen with most superpowers. So, why this is a concern, I think it's a storm in a teacup. This is not something new. And but I wait to hear what the historians and everybody have to say about this, because this, to me, is something that, while it may have some reason to be concerned, I still believe it's a storm in a teacup.
Well, the 1899 Paris arbitration set boundaries, which was a result of a conspiracy between Great Britain and the US, rendering it null and void. And in that Paris arbitration, the Essequibo was found to be part of Guyana.
Right. But
the problem is
America had found it null and void at the time.
Right. In 2015, after American oil giant ExxonMobil announced major discoveries in the Starbrook block of the coast of Essequibo, that really was the issue. Maduro held a referendum and passed legislation to create a new Venezuelan state named Guyana Essequiba in the area, which Guyana views as a threat to its sovereignty. The matter is now before the ICJ, with Guyana seeking a final binding settlement that upholds the 1899 border.
Right?
So remember, Guyana is not... Venezuela is not a member. So Venezuela say, listen, whatever all you're discussing, CARICOM, that's all your business.
Correct.
It doesn't hold for us.
And Venezuela may have a valid claim, right? When you consider what happened then.
Yeah.
So one has to be objective in looking at this whole thing. But I'm still saying that maybe this is like a storm in a teacup. While it may have great significance if Venezuela decides to activate certain intentions, it could have great significance to the oil and that kind of thing.
Well, the research says here, as we're reading, the stretch of land covers 40% of Guyana's sovereign territory. And Guyana is huge. So 40% is nearly half. And according to experts, is rich in gold, bauxite, diamonds, and other natural resources. That is really the problem. It is not just land, it's money. It is money and wealth. The dispute over the control of the Essequibo region was settled in an international arbitration in 1899, awarding Guyana government the region. However, the Venezuelan government has rejected the final decision granting Guyana the Essequibo region, and since the 19th century, it has been laying claim to a vast mineral-rich area, alleging that the decision was fraudulent and therefore null and void. This 117-year-old arbitration agreement was settled when Venezuela requested that the United States intervene on its behalf. to settle the disagreement between Guyana and Venezuela. The U.S. obliged Venezuela's request for arbitration and nearly went to war with Britain to force it to agree to the arbitration to decide the border. The arbitration committee was composed of 2 Americans representing Venezuelan interests and as well as a Russian and 2 Britons. The panel unanimously also specified that Guyana and Venezuela would observe and honor the final decision. That was 1899. Venezuela claims that the U.S. was one of those responsible for the arbitral fraud and was therefore responsible for the existence of the border controversy. So, you appoint arbitrators.
One superpower doesn't necessarily agree.
Problem will be for CARICOM.
How do we, as a team, as a group, together, deal with this?
Correct.
And that is something.
So that's why
we'll
when
need
callers
as a
call
citizen.
in, we tell them, don't watch what you see on TV. Don't take what you see on TV and hear on the radio. These matters are very, very complex.
Very complex.
And they change daily. Daily. You know, some news is to sell papers. And back home, we have Kamala. I'm not reading the headlines, okay? No disrespect to the Prime Minister, the Honorable. Stands her ground. Kamala Prasad Bisesa 2.0. 2.0 seem reformed. And she said that when she took office. My disposition is more stoic, hard-nosed, and focused on helping those who help themselves. These are good traits when focused on driving positive outcomes for the country. I have no intentions of trying to please everyone.
Can't please everybody.
But the other gentleman said the same thing, you know. So you see, when people are divided into politics, you realize they both, the song is singing familiar, even though they're 2 different individuals.
You can't please everybody, but at the same time, if the group that you're trying to please is in the minority, that's a problem.
Correct. My aim is to please the law-abiding people who go out every day and make an honest day's work to positively contribute to the society. I will not turn the other cheek as I did in years gone by. There's no turning cheek here, partner. That was the old me. This lady song like she gears up, boy. She gave up the bat. She have on helmet, everything. You have to run in and bowl. There's some people when they in the wicket, you have to stone them, you know. they ain't moving, you know. They taking scooch, they taking ball to the rib, they taking bouncers, but they batting. I will not turn the other cheek as in years gone by.
If you look at that, I mean, people may be saying, if you break that down,
Yeah.
you have to break that down to understand what's the real purpose of government, of governance.
Yes.
And governance, really, you can't really please everybody.
No, you
You'll never be able to please everybody.
And you
There'll always be detractors. But your role must be to satisfy the needs of the most vulnerable, or provide us an enabling environment where the majority of people or the persons needing the services most could get it.
Yeah.
Right? So that environment, it includes healthcare, education, safety, that is security, and all the other things. And therefore, that should always be a mantra. And it must transcend politics and everything, and race and everything.
If you come for my eye, I will take your whole head. It is either peace or total war, not in between.
A song Trumpus boy. Trumpian boy.
We said you learn that in class?
Huh?
Is it the Prime Minister learn that in class?
Well, I
Who
see
teaching that class?
I see that.
You see that? It is quite fierce political rhetoric. I like it. I find it comical. This is surely a totally different disposition of the Prime Minister we knew how many years ago. You good? She has come out to bat.
Yeah, well, I like her. And once she means well, and you're seeing the direction she going, I happy.
You see, the public, for maybe two reasons, might be uncomfortable with this. One, this has not been traditionally how she's interacted with the country, and she said that. She said, "This is a new me.
Yeah.
If you're judging me from the last me,
Kamala part 1 now.
yeah, this is not 1.0 and it's not 1.5. This is 2.0. And I think, as a female as well, we maybe expect a little different type of demeanor. But she is showing that this is politics. This is, as she says, peace or war. There's no in between.
Yeah, they say no plating.
No plating. No fence sitters. No fence sitters. And she has defended her ministers. Good. She has defended Labour. Good. She has talked about CARICOM. TNT is not leaving CARICOM. I've already made it clear. Good. So we could skip past that. She talked about crime. She talked about the state of emergency. You previously argued that a state of emergency is not a solution to crime, yet your administration has implemented two. Is it your government's main strategy in dealing with crime moving forward? Good question. We asked that on the show too. I agree it is not a permanent solution. It's a tool to be used and I intend to use it. Also, I called for a state of emergency since January 2024. I condemn the PNM for doing it only before a general election because they did it as an election gimmick after 5,000 murders and 8,000 sexual assaults when they could have done it much earlier. So she's saying it was the timing. I and all didn't get that message when that happened. I really thought she maybe was just flip-flopping. Okay? We have many strategies that we are implementing, but again, why should I tip off the criminals as to what is coming in the future? A good answer. I really feel sometimes people ask the politicians or even police, when you come in on the block. When we senior. We want to see you Monday, Friday, and Saturday. So that really would be unwise. 1 year in, how would you rate your government's performance? The answer to that question was, that is for the citizens to decide. You don't grade your own test paper. However, my view is that there will always be room for improvement. So she's saying it is not perfect. Room for improvement. And that reminds me what the doc said yesterday. There'll be room for improvement in terms of the economy. There's room for improvement, right? That is why I said brighter and better days are coming. The PNM was there for 120 months and left our country in a mess. We have had 12 months and the fixes cannot be made overnight. I do think we are off to a good start. We employed 15,000 people and got murders down, stabilized the economy, and with a projected growth in 2027 of 3%. That's a long time I haven't heard about a projected growth. I don't know when I hear about that.
We had some projections, but it didn't become a reality.
I don't think it was growth either. I don't think it was growth. I think the projections I've heard and been familiar with is contractions of the economy and deficit financing.
But as you know, as we continue to say, analyzing things, seeing what's happening and that kind of thing, crime remains a problem. I am not too sure what the overall plans are, but there seems to be no different from the past administration. Outside of that, revenue generation and productivity remains a problem. We are seeing that this government is trying to encourage a lot of foreign direct investment, which could help in stimulating the economy in some ways, but the area, the projection where you will have the most amount of stimulation in the economy is what happens in 2027, right? That is, to me, what all economists are looking at for indicators. Outside of that, we're not seeing much difference from what happened in the past in terms of foreign direct investment and the genuine impact on the economy with respect to that. Productivity, in my opinion, I see this all the time. That's one of our biggest problems, but that is a multi-layered issue, because it doesn't only include what we might see as labor and that kind of thing. It includes all kind of other issues, the ease of doing business, transportation, ease of transportation, and all the other things that affects productivity, climate, and everything else. So we still have a problem with water, not so much water, but water distribution. We don't have a problem with electricity and all them things, but we have a problem with, that's one area we have a problem with, is water. And everything else seems to be, a lot of people aren't working. For whatever reason, there are things that people could do creatively to earn income without committing crime. And for whatever reason, because of our education system, because of how we were socialized, we don't seem to understand how to take advantage of those kind of opportunities, use the elements to take advantage of those kind of opportunities, and that in itself is another problem. So I don't know. I mean, we could look all over, but there are certain things that we just have to take into consideration and try to fix. And I don't know if the politicians know that. I don't know if I am not in there, so I can't see. Where I am, I make suggestions, and there are a lot of things that could be done to change the reality of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So listening, I mean, the Prime Minister isn't. She's correct. She's correct. I mean, when you are the leader of a country like Trinidad and Tobago, you have to make hard decisions, and you have to do things not taking into consideration what people might say about you and that kind of thing. You just have to do what you have to do. When you come out of office, then the other person who comes in will do what they feel they have to do. But when you're in office, you have to do it, because if you ain't do it, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you don't do it, you'll get blamed for it anyway. You understand?
And in that case, political analyst Dr. Shade Mohammed has given Prime Minister an 80% rating for first year in office, describing her leadership of the UNC as outstanding and resilient. However, he has warned that the rest of the cabinet must transition from actors to actioners to meet the government's mandate, saying that they're ultimately putting too much burden on her. He said the Prime Minister has just 8 cabinet members who are currently carrying the government, arguing that the performance of the remaining non-performers has dragged the administration's overall rating down to 66.25%. In a detailed assessment of the UNC's administration's performance at the one-year anniversary in office following the victory at the polls, Mohammed said the Prime Minister has distinguished herself through what he called a more mature and adaptive leadership style compared to her previous tenure. Right? Prasad Visesa was assessed on 7 areas: adjustment to office, understanding of existing domestic and foreign conditions, leadership approach, style and techniques, accessibility to citizens and to the media, management of the cabinet, representation of Trinidad and Tobago, and fulfillment of her mandate. He noted that she has shifted more towards macro-managing than micromanaging, while still maintaining a firm grip on key legacy projects such as energy. She's outstanding in her resolve. Good? And that macro-managing, micromanaging discussion, she repeated when she was asked about her ministers. And she said, listen, I don't really micromanage my ministers. At the end of the day,
They have the broad strategy, they have the vision. You take it and make it happen.
she said at the end of the day, a day will come when the public will decide if they talk too much or if they acted. She said that is not even for me to decide. The public, you can't fool the public. There's a day coming soon, Judgment Day.
Or if that is election or a day when she will.
No, she was talking about election.
Okay.
She was saying there's a Judgment Day coming. Because if you are a non-performer, an all-talker, so that'd be a portion. Good?
So who is the 8 ministers? Eh?
I see a prime minister supported by a few carrying the weight and responsibility of the whole government. The burden of the weak and underperforming ministers. He argued that while the prime minister has provided a vision and leadership, ministers have not uniformly risen to the level. Ministers seem not to fully understand this. This is a problem. He also raised concerns about what he characterized as a sense of entitlement among some office holders, warning against any perception that loyalty to the Prime Minister equates worship of a political capital. This is not a flaw of the Prime Minister. This is an arising issue, he noted. 3 top performers. And I will just look for their names. He says
One has to be Jolene.
Jolene John, Khadija Amin, and John Jeremy. Jolene has hit the ground running and adapted to become more than a minister. Minister Amin was always an activist and transitioned from activism into national executive. The Attorney General is very important asset to the government. You need a senior counsel that has the experience in law, his academic qualifications, experience, etc. He comes across as a bad cop. He comes across as knowing how to handle the bad cop role. He understands the law and he understands the ills of governance. John Jeremy does bring a certain type of experience that is unique, to be honest.
Yeah, he's
Right?
different.
Yeah.
He don't play.
Ministers were evaluated using 5 criteria: adjustment to office, understanding of their portfolio, access to citizens, delivery of promises, including assistance provided, delivery of services, including projects. Okay? So,
I think not because a minister isn't visible, he's not necessarily performing. I think the Minister of Finance is an excellent
but she said
performer.
8, that she just named top
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
So I would want to
Excellent
believe
performer.
he is.
Yeah. And there are some people who are silent. They're not visible, but they're working and they're working
So
very hard.
I would want to ask you, members of the public, who are your top 8?
Yeah.
Who are your top 8 ministers? God, do not call and tell me about the ones you have big stone for. All right? We could talk about that subsequently. But I would want to know who are your top 8. Or who's your top, you might not have 8 because you might even know 5. People hardly know.
You know, long time. When I was going to school, I had to know all.
You had to learn it. So the number to call 3420081 Who are your top 8 performing ministers? Yeah, top 8. Good. If you can't give me 8, give me 1. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Caller. We have a problem with that one.
Caller, go ahead. I guess he would call back. He's a regular caller, but something is maybe wrong. Give me your top 8 performers in the government, and please don't call and tell me is 6 and not 8, and let's not change the argument.
So we said Jeremy, we said Jolene, we said Khadijah.
Yeah, it's 3. They have room for 5.
I say the Minister of Devendra Tamko.
Minister of Finance is 4.
I say
Mr. Sobers, what about him? Not the man who forget to go to the meeting. The man who gets seasick.
I would say I'd say Wayne.
Mr. Sturge. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, caller. Hey, good afternoon, Marcus and Ronaldo.
Good afternoon, sir.
I can give top 3 ministers I know, a man really and the ground man.
Right, you give me.
And who is ready? I go for Saddam Hussein.
Right.
I would
Because
say Saddam too.
when I was living over there, I patriarchate over there, go by that man to assist when he's assist. And you see Dr. Rhoda Munilan,
Right.
then President more on the ground.
That's energy, yeah.
And you see the minister called Tarafi Ratiram?
Yes.
Right. I find you doing a wonderful job in the ministry right now.
Okay.
And when they call them to blow fire in the next 3 and the rest of the next 5,
Yeah. You will call in. You'll call in.
you see what we don't call I won't call on them right now. But
Right.
you see the 3 you call in there, one of them there,
Yeah.
they're getting glad with power. They forgetting where they came from.
Okay. You're not happy.
Yes.
All right. Okay. You're entitled to that. You're entitled to that. So he added 3
He
to the
take away
3.
one. He take away 1.
And he take away 1, but he didn't tell me who he take away, but that's fair because we will come to that. We'll come to the ones who you're giving toilet paper in Skinner Park. We will come to those. Good, because I know that list is long. Because remember, we only have 8 out of 26. All right? We have 8 out of 26. So, just before we're going to a break, but I don't know if we have any callers who will come and call and tell us quickly who are in their top 8, or will they leave it for after the break. But I want you to think about it. 8 out of 26.
So far the names called was Jolene,
Yeah.
Ratiram,
Yes.
Khadijah,
Yes.
Sturge,
Yes.
Saddam.
Yes.
Who again?
John Jeremy.
John Jeremy.
Yeah. That's 6.
Nah, that's 7. Jolene, John Jeremy, Sturge, Ratiram, Saddam,
And Khadijah. 6. I have space for 2 more. We are squeezing in.
We have space for 2 more. Let me hear what the public had to say.
Well, we come into a break unless they call soon. You know, it is funny how people assess your. And the sad thing is, public assessment have less to do with your role. You know? I would hazard the guess that one of the major criteria that the public will have is access to you. But that in itself could be very, very problematic. Let me try and squeeze in this caller. Caller, good afternoon. Caller, good afternoon. I see PSG is leading Bayern 5-4. I am not a PSG fan, but Bayern beat Real Madrid, so I want Bayern to lose. That is really not good football, but that's how it is. Bayern is the better team.
I deal with merit, brother.
Bayern is the better team for me, but because they beat my side, I want them to lose. I know you like the Germans. I know you drive German, so you are German. You ain't into the French. Yeah, that,
nice objective.
You into the Renault. You ain't driving no Renault. Good? You ain't driving the Renault. So we're going to a break, and after the break, we will get back to your... So in the meanwhile, you think about your 8 hard-working members of parliament are. And we will talk to you after the break. Stay tuned for more on the Third Empire.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Peace of God be multiplied unto you in the precious name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This is Redemption Hour, a gospel program where God will reveal His mind to you on how to live a fulfilled life and to please Him in all areas. Join Pastor Femi Afolabi, the National Overseer of Deeper Christian Life Ministry, Trinidad and Tobago, and other seasoned ministers for a time of divine encounter as they minister and pray for you every Saturday by 9 o'clock in the morning of this station, Street FM 91.9. Our church is Deeper Life Bible Church, number 1 Cochrane Street, opposite Tunapuna Police Station, Tunapuna. The times of our services are as follows: Sunday worship service, 9 a.m., Monday Bible study, 6 p.m., Thursday revival hour, 6 p.m. The redemption hour is a life-changing moment you cannot afford to miss. For special prayer or counseling, contact Pastor Femi Afolabi on 778-9933. God bless you as you listen to this program. Jesus is Lord.
What are you doing? Big D, big fun, KFC, so we big on the ground. We the nation, cause you don't know we will be crowned. Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Come to KFC, let we all have fun, and let we join together, because KFC is life. It's a big deal.
Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Tuesday is Value Day. Grab the crew and dive into terrific Tuesdays. Buckets from 9, 12, 15, up to 18 pieces with sides. More chicken, more value, more reason to share. Family lime, office lime? It must be KFC. Order now. Follow KFC Trinidad and Tobago WhatsApp channel for all the deals.
TechFlex TT Limited, the #1 computer store in Trinidad and Tobago, has all your tech needs. We have the latest computers, powerful MacBooks, and affordable Chromebooks for school and work, providing new and refurbished options to suit everyone's budget. Also, we carry a variety of printer options and ink solutions for your home and office needs. Need repairs done? Our experienced technicians can solve your tech problems. Visit us now at any of our 2 locations, Wilson Road, Scarborough, next to Royal Castle, or Penco Street, Montrose, Chagonas. Call 235-4919 for more info. TechFlex TT Limited. Affordable tech. Exceptional service.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday
from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Is a whole lot of flavor wrapped up in a twist. Some of them try to rap, but they don't rap like this. With crispy KFC tenders and lettuce and carrots and shredded tortilla embedded, perfect wherever you headed. Dripping with that creamy mayo and that mambo sauce. Let me tell them one more time to get my point across. It's a craveable, crunchable, movable, functional, flavorful meal that your taste buds must endorse. KFC, crunch twist, crunch twist. None of them, they don't make them like this.
Introducing KFC's Crunch Twist, a flavorful wrap with a delicious difference for just $29.95. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Well, I'm going to make an adjustment to my ask. I know I asked you for 8, but that's unfair given that the article only mentioned 3. So, I want you to give me your top 3. You may agree with this top 3, or you may have your own 3. Give me your top 3 performing ministers of government presently under this administration. From the little that you know, you don't have to know everything. You can't know everything. But you have an opinion and you may be able to justify it. Give me your top 3 performing ministers of government. The number to call is 342-0081 466-5391. Give me, and none of the above is not an answer, okay? You can't shade D, none of the above. Okay? Give me your 3 top performing ministers of government. According to your own assessment, I'm not asking you your criteria. You may explain if you want to. You know, you may not know all the circumstances and all the facts. But as far as you're concerned, these 3 people have proven themselves to be hardworking, consistent, you know, and all the other things that you admire or you agree with. Give me a call, 342-0081 466-5391. Give me your 3 top performing ministers of government. Give me your top 3. Give me your top 3. I know 8 might have been hard to find. And as Stephen rightly said, were it not for social studies, some of us might be able to call a name. But we're quarreling every day about the government and doing nothing. But you don't know any of the minister's name. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Jen.
Good afternoon, sir. I think it's a zone because he normally calls in and it's quite fine. No, his phone is reconnecting. This phone is okay. Okay, caller. Give me a call, 342-0081 466-5391. Give me your top 3 performing ministers of government. You know? And I didn't ask you the top 3 you like, you know. That's a whole different question. Because some of us like non-performers. Some of us have relationships with non-performers. So that will biasly be our submissions. We want, in your view, what are the top 3 performing, hard-working ministers of government? If you have more than 3, we can take it. But I'm just asking you for 3 because... Yes, you might want to add Mr. Feroz Khan, who... Yeah, he's not a minister of government, per se. Yes, his work has been publicly commended by those around him, even the politicians around him. I don't envy him, but because that must be a difficult task somehow. Good afternoon, caller.
Afternoon, Mr. Rollocks and Mr. Matheson.
Yes, good afternoon.
I want to respond to the question as asked. You stated 3 earlier on. I ought not to stick with those 3.
Okay. No,
I don't know. But I would want to. Yes, Journey is a good performer.
Yes.
Competent, because I don't think it's just when we talk about performing, I think we include competent.
Yes.
And I think that he fits there. I think Julian John would, yes, I would agree with that. I would look at Saddam Hussein.
Yes.
I would look at Munilal. So
yes.
Thus far, I think he's doing well. And so that's the 3. You don't need the 8, right? So, but yes, I think they do well. I think
you can give as much as you know. I just said
right.
3
I
for
think
those.
Khadija is doing all right.
Yes, no problem.
But I think she can do much better with respect to communication and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And when I say communication, how you relate to people.
Yes.
And what is instructive. And I think this is what I think, that I'm not telling people what they must do. And well, I'm not demanding that they do that. But I will just state that the same papers that you're reading there, the commentary there, or I think Sheikh Mohammed.
Yes.
I think every minister should get their hands on that. It is very instructive. It's enlightening. It tells them about their performance. It tells them what they need to do, what their shortcomings, what their failings are, and where they need to improve. And they would do well to put their hands on it. It's a very nice article. I mean, he did some research too, because, again, in coming up with his 8 and whatnot, or whatever, he would have done survey and that kind of thing. And that is critical, because it's scientific, he being a political scientist. And so that is where I see it thus far. But I don't know. But the others, I think they need to do, some of them need to work. People like Zaku, Minister Zaku, they need to work. And Sean Sabers need to also, that kind of casual kind of approach to this thing, foreign affairs and ministerial portfolio is serious business. Serious business. And when a minister could tell you about you tell them, when you speak as a minister, people take everything from you. People, they're waiting for you to stop to stumble. You have to be more, I mean, I don't know. You have to be more serious with respect to your job. Take it seriously. Understand your role. Understand the need for you to communicate when you communicate first, you communicate effectively. When you meet with your compatriots or whatever it is, your equal, probably internationally, the way you project yourself, right? You have to be a little more professional. And definitely, I'm not crying down nobody, I want to see you do well. I want to see this government do well. Because if they do well, if the government do well, it means that I would benefit, the population would benefit. I don't want to see this government fall. I make it quite clear. And I am doing nothing to bring down this government. We had 10 years already, and I can't take another 10 years down the road with this. So I want to see them improve. And therefore, I want to be fair. I want to be honest with them. You're not like friend and who you like. The fact remains you have to perform. have to perform. It may be too early to do a reshuffle at this point in time because most of these people new to politics, some of them don't even understand, some of them haven't even yet gotten grips with the ministries and whatnot. They depend largely on the permanent secretaries and the other technical people within the ministry. They haven't yet got their foot in. So it might, because if you bring people now and you bring new people, the Prime Minister made a point, and I saw it in the term between 2010 and 2015. You had some bad performers there. Bad, very poor performers. And they were embarrassing also to that government. They helped bring down that government. And I think she learned from that. And she had to learn. Who don't learn? If you don't learn, you're going to fall back in the same fire. Right? And therefore, some people, they need to stay far from government. Far from government. And I won't call name, I won't get into that. But they know themselves. They have been down destroy the lady's government.
And Cole, I respect your comment that you made before concerning foreign affairs, because I did not like the excuse that you told CARICOM you got seasick and that was just in jest. To me, you should have accepted the stately thing to do was accept that you did make that statement and accept that. But to deflect and say, well, it was a joke. That does not. That's unbecoming. Yeah.
That is unbecoming. I really upset with that.
Yeah.
And but maybe he may grow out of it and develop. And he's already there. And he's young. He seems to be very intelligent.
Because you have to know that in this diplomatic realm, your phone is as good as any communique.
Yes.
This whole issue about officialdom, people need to learn from Donald Trump, Is he the man who tweets and then he writes in policy? He will tweet it. So you waiting for press conference? Check Twitter.
Yeah.
An instantaneous messaging. So you must know, as a foreign officer, you can't be texting the CARICOM secretariat in joke. I was making a joke. I get seasick because they tell you that to take a little canoe to a meeting to go over on the other part of Nevis or etc. And your defense is you were joking. That's not.
That's schoolboy thing.
Schoolboy thing, correct.
That's schoolboy thing. And one thing I want to say is that with respect to I heard, and this is why people talk about this government lack the question of communication. I am hearing today just on the news where they came out with some time plan, what they're going to do and what. The government needs to communicate that to the people. Let the people know what they're doing. Come out, but the ministers need to go on the radio station, use Iwer station, use other stations to communicate. Because I'm hearing about the Prime Minister might speak, but you need to explain it better to the population in the course of an interview. Right? Saddam does it. Jerry John does it. And that is why they're rated up there. We have a man, the Minister of Agriculture, he may be doing things, but again, it is not communicated to the wider populace.
Yeah.
That is the downfall. And if you go through the Sheikh Mohammed comments in the newspaper, that is one of the things that, and everybody been telling them that you're doing things, and if in fact you come up with a plan to deal with crime. I listen something from the radio, I ain't getting it correctly, and other people ain't even understand what's going on. You're talking about policemen, you're putting what they call these mobile units and whatnot. Let them know what you're going to put police in communities. Let the people know what is going on, boy. It's so easy, and I mean, I don't know. That is the problem. The downfall is communication, and some of these people they're afraid to come to the media or something. And the Minister of Agriculture, I heard him, he's sounding good. But the fact remains is that, how is that communicated to the wider population? He needs to do more than just probably go on TPT. I just turn on TPT and I see some news or that. Listen, communicate. The PNM does it well. The other previous government, Manning and this, did it well. And they have to do it well. Thank you.
a couple things to me that resonates. And the first thing is, because I am a nationalist, I see Trinidad and Tobago. I don't want this government to fail, right? Not because I might have supported this government or have friends in this government. I have a lot of friends on the other side. I don't want to see no government in Trinidad and Tobago fail. But we know what we came out of, and we have a new administration who is just about 12 months old, and we are seeing that they are how they are administrating is quite different from what happened in the last the 2010 to 2015 period. I don't know if you remember that period. But that period was mad with all kind of they call it missteps, but all kind of craziness.
Unforced errors.
Yes.
Every day.
We're not necessarily seeing that here, but we're seeing a government led by a leader who is really trying to see how she could navigate our way out of this minefield that we are in. And we're not in this minefield because of any, in my opinion, because of any necessarily bad things done by the administration before. While there may have been, I would say, some things that I would not have done if I was the last administration. But the thing is, at the end of the day, as a Trinidadian, you don't want to see a government fail.
Correct.
If your government fail, right, you failing too. You feel you're going to be unscathed.
Yeah, you're not right? You don't remain unaffected.
You don't remain unaffected. The failure of a government carries with it a number of things that will affect everybody. And the people who have the most the people who are the most outside there, the most investment, the most everything. So you don't want to see a government fail. So when we talk, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people who want to come and hear us say bad things about the administration and the government and that kind of thing. I can't say that because that wouldn't be right, right? Neither the other side.
Yeah, that's what we see, and that is why this is the third empire.
So this is the third empire.
We need the two teams.
Yeah.
Because we ain't paying for one-sided cricket.
And nobody are paying me. Right?
Yeah.
So if we see nonsense, we'll say, hey, that's working.
We are not interested in one-sided cricket.
Yeah.
We must have good bowling and batting.
You in the pavilion, you tell us what you think.
Must have good bowling and batting. First to enjoy the game.
So if you want to hear one-sided cricket, go and listen to the other stations.
Yes.
Right? You'll hear one-sided cricket day.
This is not one-sided cricket.
This is not about PM. This is not about yellow. This is not about red.
Yeah.
This is about what we see.
And look, the article was very plain. 8 out of 26. Shane Mohammed didn't lie. He didn't hide his, and he could support his findings. And what is there to hide about that?
Correct.
That is actually how you grow. Hopefully, soon it will become 12 out of 26, which is a little more than half. So, well, a little less than half, sorry. So I don't understand why we take criticism to mean condemnation. We do want this government to succeed, and all governments, as a matter of fact. Whether you support, correct, whether you support the bowling or the batting side, it doesn't matter. Exactly. We want to see a good game of cricket.
Yeah.
So the number to call is 342-008-146-65391. Tell me who your top three are. If you could name more than three, God bless you. I dare some of you. Some of you, no.
Social studies finished for them.
No. Yeah. Yeah, we are interested in political gossip, and mobelang. So a certain gentleman was ever popular last weekend. We know that story. Yeah. Good?
I wonder how you rate T-boy. The man with the paternity business.
Well, that gentleman has said in an interview I was watching today that he's turning a curve. And the curve, the difference between politics and activism is steep. Well, I would just say, if you're learning, be quiet in class. We accept that you're learning, you know.
You
But for
can't-
somebody who learning,
You can't be talking.
no, or you will understand what the teacher telling you. If you are your learners,
Yeah, you listen. Talk every now and
you
again.
know how to drive, you are your learners. You meet some girl who train you up, you go in Toko. When you're learners, it's not to go Macross, you know. You don't go Maracas with your learners. That will cost you your life, or you might kill people. Good afternoon, caller.
Caller.
Hey, good afternoon, Macassin and Ronaldo. When I went for the break, there was a kinder young guy who touring all over the world, but better known as Steam. When he come here, I find the Minister of Culture should have you on that government and promote the culture in a better way. Take the opportunity and make that fly, but I'm glad all that you flying all over the world, man. God bless them. When they born with a diamond, let's continue doing. Right, back to politics in Trinidad then.
Yes.
What is all the three both MP I go telling you about? Party. You like to invite people in the place down there, come and check him. Sit around the young table, talk to him. When you go on down the staff for them is saying he inside there. And you run to the back and go on and you be like a puppet down there. Like Barry Paradise, one MP. We don't know what people should get rid of it because them for the cover that kind of. I want to say to you there. And my MP now is Vanda Moet now. Oh God. But I think I want to say you can't say a national radio, right?
Don't say it.
And Jill and John. Because them are the three MPs from my areas where I live in. So when you go there, the helping who don't want to help, the picking and choosing who don't want to help. Since last year, this time by gone by she offers, she tell me, they handpick me to work in militia work. Up, no call out now. And Kiddy Shaman too. Them is wicked, but them forget where they came from. When I went down in the thing Saturday gone, she said, because she come on a program and tell you, well, I that soul in the camp, you know. Me and two of that soul, she pull out her soul, you look like me. The next soul, I will live in the camp for the last 9 years. First day she go greet me and tell me, you get in trouble. She like, why you get in trouble about? What can help you or what can assist you? Plus she walk rough and she want to hear nothing again. Them so bringing down the party because I went down there and the people complain about Killy Shaman and them. Them change. Well, right now she launched a work called local government. I signed up for that work about a week ago before that march. You know, they call all people, a woman friend of mine tell me they call short. The Sunday, the next day they call short, you know. If I meet a person, I can show you real tech. And this one, who select the ball like he's a big Lavanterian and he so love black people and preaching and talking about black veteran and things. It's when people come and talking about it like black people so much and preaching. They have a wicked intention. David Naked. Tell me that said always me send this that thing in fame. Send a voice for me and tell me what. He put me onto somebody, you know, he blocked me about a month and something now. You know, I meet him down and tell him about the people like he dotish. Why they doing me that? They're forgetting me now. They was loving me for the last 9 years. When I was doing my political work on this radio station here, a political work we do with a pundit down there. We was campaigning to run the pundit now. Me not looking for the handout, me not looking for no. I want opportunity like everybody else, so there are certain people who from the next side of the party and get opportunities. I say, well, ring down, pay them, Aki order to was running from the bottom of the kicking water behind. You see him down there? Them was down there. So you two bringing down the party, the backstabbers, and then come there with their own benefit. The black blackmail the UNC, take whatever they get, and go back PNM. So Kisha, I may not be watching all the out there and Van Dam with. I call him honorable Prime Minister. You're not fit for that. You're not fit for that office. You don't understand the point in it. You victimizing people. Bless.
Okay. You know, what is strange is that,
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
A boss I had a long time, he once told me that, he says, Stephen, the acres of diamonds that you're looking for is sometimes right in your backyard and you don't even know it. You're looking all about that acres of diamond right in your backyard. And when I listen to guys like these guys who know everybody, who, all that kind of thing, you still sitting down and waiting on some kind of handout when you could speak, you have hands, you have feet, you have a brain, right? What's stopping you from exploring it? Just talk about the gentleman who are touring the world, all over the world from Trinidad, the not activist, the social media influencer from Trinidad. What stop you from doing that? You don't even need all you need is a phone. What stop you from being able to do that? There's so many things that has created that, so many opportunities. If you don't know, just ask AI to tell you, show you what you could do to make millions or to become. You can't be complaining about if they do it for you, then do it. Maybe you didn't have the capacity to accept it, right? Not everybody who voted or not everybody who was an activist will get something from the party or the party you support, whether the PNM or the UNC. I experienced certain things under the PNM too, years ago, right? And at one time I felt, but I rose above that. I tell myself, listen, I not letting no politician or no party keep me from finding my acres of diamond. And that position was to work for no one, but to find a way to create my own space. You could do that too, as a citizen. Just look for it. So, KFC, I hear you. I know you're hurting. I know where your problem is. I know what your experience might have been. I know that kind of thing. I've seen that happen already. But listen, you gotta move on.
The number to call is 342-008-1466-5391. Give me your top performing ministers. Your top performing ministers. And I wanted to keep the conversation on the positive end, even though there's a negative reality, but we will get to that. Okay? Your top performing ministers of government, who you can identify. You may not know everything about them, but in your mind, they are performing and performing well, the little that you know. Because, to be honest, most of us remain uninformed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth.
Correct. We don't read. We aren't able to assimilate the information we get in. Some of us, the education that we didn't accept in school, it makes us, takes away the capacity to be able to even understand, read between the lines, look at the objectivity of the literature before you, and read between the lines. So not everything, some people just talk from what they hear somebody say and not able to really analyze exactly what's going on. And therefore they make uninformed decisions. They say things that maybe they should not have said. And that is unfortunate. But the thing is, you have to understand that society is made up of all those kind of people too. And you will have those kind of thing, and that is what makes up or makes up the elements that manufactures consent and everything. So, but not, I mean, to say that alone, there are people who need to, to hear things like, somebody listen to this program, hear where we are going, and understand that everything you read, everything you see, everything somebody tell you, right? how it is analyzed is not necessarily what you see. You know, you have to take it apart and listen to some informed discussions on it.
Very
you know?
correct. Arm yourself with the information.
Yeah.
And that is the type of discourse we hope to bring here on the Third Empire. Apart from, just the rhetoric of how you feel and what you think. Arm yourself with the information because the information is out there. So the number to call is 342-0081-466-5391. Tell me who are your top performing ministers, in your view, in your humble opinion.
Meanwhile, I mean, you're still seeing, well, not still seeing like it's escalating, some kind of heinous crimes, boy. You read about the two friends that left their home to go by someone somewhere in Tunapuna, somewhere on that, Aruka, I think it was, and they never reached. And 24 hours after they found them somewhere up Matura side, Valencia side, burnt in a car.
Wow.
And and two elderly gentlemen are from
senior citizens.
Senior citizens. And I just find that to be really, really unfortunate. Every day you're hearing these new kind of thing. A man told me just when I was leaving the office there, a security guard, an ageable guy, he told me that he was coming from Sawa, from somewhere, Santa Cruz, one morning. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, coming to go into work. And he sat down in a car with the driver and 2 men, and they robbed him. They took everything from him, the driver and the 2 passengers. And it appears as though that was the MO. That's what they was doing, because they did that to 8 other people until they was eventually caught. Now, how stupid could you get? If that's what you're doing, you driving in the same place, just robbing people. 3 of you. You ain't think you're going to catch right? So you just setting up passengers, sit down in your car and then you're robbing them. This is just sad, but I mean, a man coming from work, he now get paid, or he trying to see about the family, whatever, and you just taking the money and taking everything from him.
And in the line of your discussion or your mentioning of heinous crime, 3 men charged with the murder of Municipal Police Corporal Anushka Eversley also yesterday faced charges related to a massive cache of illegal firearms and ammunition, including more than 100 pistols and 4,000 rounds of ammunition. They were all denied bail and remanded into custody. Municipal Police Officer Jivan Biggs Cooper, construction worker Kwame Arnold, and scrap iron dealer Nicholas Ramdas, all of Claxon Bay, appeared before the Master Lisa Bartholomew, where the charges were laid. So one was 28, 20, and 24.
Young guys.
A post-mortem later determined that she was strangled and beaten. Her funeral service was held yesterday. In addition to a murder charge, the men have been accused of robbing the officer of government-issued firearms and ammunition and using violence against her. 114 pistols, 1 revolver, 6 shotguns, 2 MXPs, submachine guns, and 173 firearm magazines intended for trafficking. The number of missing weapons and ammunition were never officially disclosed by the police investigators until the court matter. The last time the Commissioner of Police, Alistair Guevara, updated the media on the search for guns and ammunition, it totaled 60 weapons. In court, the men were not called upon to plead. Cooper was represented by attorney Keith Beckles. Attorney Christian Rambert appeared as duty counsel for Arnold, and attorney Perusha Lord appeared for Ramdas. Beckles raised the issue of pre-trial publicity because he was dealing with he is defending Mr. Cooper, and argued that extensive sensational and misleading publicity brought through social media could prejudice a potential jury pool and risk biasness towards his client. So those three were denied bail.
No bail.
Yeah, it is indeed a sad day when your colleagues can be charged for your murder.
Yeah, boy.
On work.
When we say, you remember I was saying about talking about a senior policeman who said that a good police officer can take the call.
Good afternoon, caller.
Afternoon, sorry to call again.
Go ahead.
I heard you spoke about some attorney representing one of these suspects in the murder trial, the charge of murder. And he's saying that he's feeling that they're pre-trial publicity. But you have matters such as this one, dealt with previously with respect to those trading when they went to Shagamas, and what in law they call praying the tail, because you took it out, you moved it from Port of Spain or wherever it was, probably San Fernando or whatnot. And they went down there and took people from the beach who were on the beach and whatnot, and they served as jurors. So this question about pre-trial publicity, it can work in one way, but the fact remains is that there's a remedy for such claims. But what I want to talk about, that is what they call praying the tail. Right? You just pick up people randomly, you move it out probably from Port of Spain, where in fact, there was a lot of discussion about it. It went down Shagamas. But what I'm saying, I'm seeing Jacob, who was the former commissioner of police. It appears as if when you're in crisis, you need to mobilize your best resources. You see it in government, you see during the war, you had the Churchill and those people when in the Second World War, when you had coalition, the different parties came together and whatnot, and in order to run, the wartime, to deal with the crisis. And when you're in crisis, such as we are in today, you need to bring all your best people on board in order to meet the problem or the challenges head on. And so I see McDonald Jacob, I don't know what, but I heard him speaking on the newspaper with respect to some program, with respect to, it has to do with crime, detection of crime, intelligence and whatnot. So apparently he's been brought on board. And that's a good thing. In politics also, you would need to get your best hand, your finest mind, as Robinson would have said it, on board. But I think with the Prime Minister 2.0, I don't think that she may have too many to choose from, because those people have been tried. Some of these people who are coming forward, been tested and tried and tested over the years, and I don't think that they were any they did in fact help her. They helped her down, not up.
So what do you think about Gary?
Well, I think Gary is talented, boy, but I think that Gary, I don't want to sue me,
A man says that walkie-talkie.
Yeah, Gary's problem is that he talks too much, man. You need to control that and find himself. That's his biggest problem. If he could control that, and he seems not to. So I'm saying there's a lot of talent there, that he has a lot of talent, a lot of experience. It's going to waste.
So who you remind you of?
Huh?
Who you remind you of?
Who you remind me of?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Well, we were talking about ministers, and we were talking about, ministers, performing ministers, and, ministers who talk
Well, you have an next one within the government now, and that person need to control his exuberance. You need to control that. I don't want to call him, but I think everybody know who he is, and you need to control that. You need to control. You need to take it down. But I don't think that he can change. I don't think that there are certain people here in this country who steep in their ways. And I don't see how, after all these years, they can't change.
True.
You have to be very careful. They can't change. If all this time or more than 15 years and that's the way they operate, they can't change. But all you have to do is to ensure that they don't bring you down. And then if you try to take action with them, it makes it worse for you. But this is the problem with Trinidad. When you have some politicians, when they come and they misbehave, and you try to discipline them, they believe they could mash up the cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's bacchanal down the road. That is the problem. That's why the problem here. It happens more so it has happened with the UNC. People are their way, like some madness that's just flying people head and come up with all kind of things. You see, you think it is it? And I wouldn't be shocked or surprised that these things could happen again with some of them. They just one morning get up and all kind of thing, and some spirit is getting in their head, and they decide to mash up things. And as I said, you have some politicians, you need to keep them far away from you. And if you keep them, you have to deal with them skillfully. Otherwise, they could destroy your party and destroy your government. Anyhow, thanks again.
No problem. Appreciate it, caller.
Very insightful analysis. I think Gary.
So I have some text. The caller who couldn't, who tried and he got distracted. When I asked for hard-working ministers, he said Julian John and Dave Tanku. Yeah. That was his two. Caller, thanks for that.
Julian seems to be on everybody's list.
We have another caller. Good afternoon, caller.
Good evening, brethren.
Hello? Yes, good afternoon, caller. Go ahead.
What's the question again?
I asked for if you know the names in your view of who are your hard-working ministers. Those who you give kudos to, who you've seen effort from.
In this present administration?
Yes.
It's Julian John.
Okay.
And that's full stop.
That's full stop. Okay.
Yeah.
We respect that. Who do you see in your highlight as a non-performer thus far? No, I asked you because I have to be fair and balanced. And come on, we were very critical of the bowlers and who this and who that. The batsmen have to face the same sword, Mm-hmm. We are very, very, very sure on this show to the umpire. The batsmen have to face the same sword.
To you yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead.
To me, Julian John stand up.
Yes.
Okay. And when the next question, who I find not performing?
Yes, if you anybody who stands out or listen to me, this guy just weighing down the team.
You don't start with a P.
Okay, all right. Okay. Same start with a P.
P.
Yeah.
No, but
okay.
I think I mentioned it to you. I will look at 4 ministries.
Yes.
In every government. Tell you that yesterday. Right?
Yes.
And I think Philip, I can't see where Philip fit in. I can't place him in the correct place then. You understand?
I think Philip have good. I think he have good intentions. It's just that maybe he kind of overzealous.
Matterson, let me say what I think now.
All right, okay, go ahead.
All right? Philip is a non-performer. I doesn't like to say that for people, but he proved himself.
Mm-hmm.
He don't prove himself already. I expecting he, as I tell Mr. Ullock yesterday, I expecting she will move in a very dignified way, and put he to rest with that foolishness she going on with him. You understand? No, I wouldn't say Mr. Alexander Roger is a non-performer.
Right.
Roger had to get his act together. Right?
Right.
Because what happened to Roger is not that people don't like him. And I'm saying this on radio. It's not that people don't like Roger Alexander. People want Alexander to do better.
Yes. Yes.
Because from where he come from and where he is, the portfolio is sitting on. Because of his experience, you didn't expect better of him. So they just make fun of him and thing. And I say I want Roger to do better.
Agreed.
I do not that I hate him and thing. Because we ain't really supposed to hate him.
Correct.
You understand? So I put Roger in the mix because he always there in the limelight, and he need to get that together.
Yeah.
And you know what has hurt me? There are those in the administration there who I to listen to them speak. No, some of them is real nuisance. But I listen to how they speak.
Yeah.
And I just wonder why Roger can't not think like them, speak like them, phrase the word like them, put across a point like them. And I realize he's lacking. You would hear this, the little one, they will always measure every the leader of government business in the house.
Right.
He will stand up and read properly.
Yes.
Well dressed. I listen to Mr. Dowler. Them fellas will stand up and like them or not. When them fellas saying something, you could follow it.
Yeah.
Not Roger. And my heart is go out for him. So I want to know it's not that we don't like you. We were here today. There are 4 more years. Try and get your act together. Do some little lesson, some kind of thing. And them fellas right, they could help him. When you're talking in the parliament, talk like we understand them. Pronounce your words properly. This is not a rebuke. We want you to be a better minister. So much for Roger. But my pick is Jolene. She's a worker. Philip need to leave. Even though she don't sell him, he need to leave. I go on.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller.
And I appreciated your calls and your analysis. Very fair.
Yeah. And when I was trying to say that, and maybe you were thinking I was trying to defend Philip. I think Philip is sometimes overzealous. Philip hasn't been able to transition, and that is unfortunate, because sometimes when you listen to Philip, you think he's still in opposition, or he haven't been able to transition, understanding the quorum that is needed to be a minister, right? And so I don't know if him being a minister has just been in that area, has just been addressing, because he doesn't necessarily have to do anything. And this is not to say that this is not a criticism of the gentleman. Philip is my good friend, but certainly, Philip had to do some introspection and understand, hey, you're in your role as a minister, and you need to understand what you're supposed to be doing as a minister. Right? We know that they expect you to do some social media, that kind of thing, but gosh, you can't be attacking everybody. You can't be operating like if you're outside of the realm of what is required as a minister. That's just what I have to say about Philip. Right?
Yeah, and I do accept another caller. Good afternoon, caller.
And another thing, I just want to make this point. He did not bring anything. He didn't bring no expertise. What did Philip bring? Forget he didn't bring nobody. He didn't bring anything. Miss John was always a worker. Right? We know that. Roger was in the police service. Okay? I ain't going back over that. What did Philip bring? Philip disappoint me. The first time in the early years when I called my son and I said, boy, come and listen to this man. I said, boy, this man sung him like one for the future. You know, the next time he cussing, not Pauletta wood. He ran back and all with Gary. I said, but is the same man? And like since that Philip gone, he slide away. No, he didn't bring nothing in. What Philip brought to the UNC? And if he keep on embarrassing the government and the Prime Minister, if I think I know his business, I'll go and draw with that. What a negotiate?
Yeah, I suppose you go and solve the problem.
And my issue, two things I have to say about the gentleman. I understand his dilemma between activism and politics.
Formal politics.
And in a way, they are inextricably linked. Because activism was the horse he rode into politics.
To get into politics.
Unlike many others. But at this junction, you must choose.
Yeah.
Because it could also be your destruction.
Correct.
You must choose. And we have seen him step away from that bat plenty time and pick it back up again.
Yeah, because you see, it's in him.
Yeah.
And it's about transitioning, you know?
Yes.
You have to understand, when you get into office, you have to now put aside that kind of, you're working for the country now, you're working for everybody. You're not working for one side. You're working for Trinidad and Tobago and not necessarily the UNC. And you have to start to think or come across or project yourself as being more objective. And to do that, in his position, he has to stop attacking people unnecessarily. The same man he was attacking for years before is the same man he's still wanting to attack. For what? Right? Now, that man has talked plenty too, but oh gosh, boy, all they had to take it on, all I don't understand, hey, trying to be go listening to all you and all they losing credibility every day.
The other issue is this. The issue is, and as an educator, former educator, you would know this. If your argument is that you are learning in a new environment, this is a new classroom, then your behavior does not facilitate much learning. It's actually very distracting. When you're learning something, you have a poise about yourself. You know, you're a little still. You're slow to speak. Good? So I accept that you're learning. I think everybody know you were learning. Nobody expected you to be a politician before. Good? But I that's just my view. A lot of his antics are a bit distracting. We like your activism. We think you could do in politics, good. But now you must wear one hat for a while. Until you could balance on one foot, just chill for a while. And do your politics too. And you're doing a good job, you know, from what we've seen in terms of what you represent. But every other day it gets confused with something you say. Leave Gary Griffith alone. Gary Griffith is not in office.
Yeah, because just the attacks on Gary Griffith by itself, even though what some of the things they might be saying about Gary Griffith might be the truth.
Yeah.
But it destroying you.
Yeah, Gary Griffith is not in office.
Exactly.
You know? That is like
and Gary Griffith in fact had some results.
That is what and you
like
know
it
what?
or not.
You know who we have not heard or seen in a while, but I respect him now more than ever? Fitzgerald Hines.
Yeah.
You see how that man has...
And he takes some licks, eh?
But he take relics.
He take like some inside and outside.
Now that
he take like some inside
is over.
Yeah. He take like some inside and outside.
He's not doing like the $1 Million Man.
No.
He's staying away from the media, the TV, the everybody.
Yeah.
I feel the party and only give a little rest.
Possibly.
You might give him a little rest. And that is the way when you are confident, no matter what you say about Gary Griffith, he has contributed, and that's on record. History, Castro said, La historia no absolvemos. History will absolve me. History will say whether I was good or bad or indifferent, and that will go from time to time depending on who. Leave Gary Griffith alone. Gary Griffith is not in the cabinet. Gary Griffith is not, you know what I mean? You have to...
Somehow, I just be telling myself, like, this man afraid Gary Griffith can't take his place or something.
I do understand.
Oh, this man be attacking Gary Griffith, so you
yeah,
don't need to.
it is, you know, it takes away from the little thing you went and organized on the beach in Maracas the other day. Because I visited there not too long ago, and I realized they were a little more organized. They were a little more organized, and it looked like Philip Truce, the pack he signed with them, is holding.
Joking.
It's working.
I don't know if he frightened them or what.
I don't know what he did, but
it's working.
And
you have to do more of that. That's what the public want to see.
And he's very visible. So he said in an interview, I've been on all HDC projects. I don't doubt him. The other day I see him on Duncan Street in the plannings. I saw him. Good. So he is on the ground as he has always been. Your work will talk for you. Right? But you can't be talking about the plannings and the state of the buildings. Then you're going off to the PNM and then you end up on Gary Griffith. You know, just this, you were going good. But join us on the other side of the break on the Third Empire. For more, stay tuned on the Third Empire.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
What are you doing? Big D, big fun, KFC, so we big on the ground. The big nation, cause you don't know we where the crown. Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Come to KFC, let we all have fun, and let we join together because KFC is life. It's a big deal.
Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Better living starts at Furniture Plus. Get up to 50% off on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. Plus free gifts with select purchases and just $1 down on credit plans. Don't wait. Visit Furniture Plus today.
There's some advice when you hear it. You know one time is good advice. My granny tell me a hot cup of good and natural ginger tea first thing in the morning does wonders for the body. Good and natural ginger tea in its single-size packets is excellent for flavoring your cooking, salads and desserts. But what was news for me is when my granny say a hot cup of good and natural ginger tea helps with nasal congestion and colds, stomach problems, migraine headaches, and it's really good for arthritis in the body. Made from freshly crushed ginger root to get that strong ginger taste and aroma so soothing. Good and natural ginger tea available with or without sugar, so all you need is boiling water to get a cup going. As the old people say, don't take flambeau to see the night, but you could see clear in the day. Good and natural ginger tea. Good advice to start your day right.
Excellent message for everyone. Birth is given by others.
Wrapped up in a twist. Some of them try to rap, but they don't rap like this. With crispy KFC tenders and lettuce and carrots and shredded tortilla embedded, perfect wherever you headed. Dripping with that creamy mayo and that mambo sauce. Let me tell them one more time to get my point across. It's a craveable, crunchable, movable, functional, flavorful meal that your taste buds must endorse. KFC, crunch twist, crunch twist. None of them, they don't make them like this.
Introducing KFC's Crunch Twist, a flavorful wrap with a delicious difference for just $29.95. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
And we're back. And we just want to close off soon on this issue of, you know, the
best eat.
Yes, in your
ministers.
view, your top 3 hard-working ministers. You know, the number to call is 342-008-1466-5391. You could call and give us who are, in your view, are these ministers. If you have a justification for it, it will help. But you may not. Well, I'm not too sure. If you do have a justification for it or not, you could tell us. Okay? So you give us your top 3 hardworking ministers. In your view, you know, what has been your experience? What has been your invitation? Your impression of these ministers? You've had a look for a year. We have seen some more than others. And rightly so. We have seen some too much.
And we don't see some at all.
And we don't see some at all. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How much, let me ask you a question. How much a man will show you his face until he realizes he's a problem? When a man revealing his true colors.
When he batty wicked.
How long you plan to give that fella to try to show his true colors? You know, like all the fellas bright, and all remember the story about the scorpion asking the frog to swim across the river.
And he ain't gonna sting him.
And the frog said, but use a scorpion, you go sting me. The scorpion say, nah boy, I wouldn't sting you, we go drown. The frog say, alright, I got reasoning, there we go. And midway crossing the river, the scorpion sting the frog, and the frog, while he drowning, he said, boy, and you say, you wouldn't sting me, boy? He said, as a scorpion, that is what others do. So what I realizing John Public taking the excuse Philip making that somebody doctor a video, which is a lie. Any child could tell you that is not an AI video. I realizing John Public accepting the rants and raves of this man. So I want to know when is time, or that is the norm now, or we settling that as the norm. I'm asking all the gentlemen.
Say that again, caller.
I said, when would you, is that the accepted norm of this gentleman bring him to the circus? Cuss and get on and about lodge and Syrian genitalia. I mean, Charan watching, Charan listening. We accepting that now? Rowley paved that way, so we go accept it now. Because Rowley do that 10 years, we accepting it now. Is that the sweet song we singing now?
No,
I'm asking.
I can't say that. That is not my view.
I understand.
But
what I'm asking
what course of action do you recommend?
Well, at least, you see, the course of action should be of what he was told before, stay in your lane. Apparently, he's not listening. So what I'm alluding to is that if you pat him on the back then, and now that he gone ranting and raving again,
pinch him on the ears.
Forget it. You pinch him on the ears now. We expecting more of this, aren't we? Are we not? Common sense would say this man will get comfortable in this, that they would have say, we accept he for that kind of madness. That is what he bringing to the table. So he could get away with that. Is that the norm? I'm asking. Because I find that this is very wrong. Because we put in honorable in front of these guys' name. So when you children getting on in a kind of way, and they say, well, we see the senator doing that, or they go scold the child, or they go say, well, all right, that's the new norm. I don't know, I could be jumping, but I'm trying to bring so much ideas at one time that something is wrong. This fella didn't win a seat. So what he have, how much bodies he really bury for Kamala? He said it in a video. Is this real? Is actual bodies? Because it seems to, this guy could do what he wants, and there's no reprimand. No reprimand whatsoever. So what's going to happen with the party? He could sing the party in a while. In a time, and he have the controller. being in the party and sink it at the same time? Is he a double agent for the PNM? I'm asking.
Relevant
I know
questions.
I know that Matterson boy.
Relevant questions. Relevant questions. And, you know,
I'm asking.
But caller, you understand you're asking the umpire to pick the team, right? And you know, we can't, right?
Yeah.
No, I understand. I agree.
So we
I don't
agree
mean
with,
to put you guys.
No, we agree with your
I'm
concern.
asking,
because when we on the
Right.
field and we see a man swinging the bat and it come out the hand and it fly down on his square leg and it nearly hit the umpire, we are concerned as well.
Yeah. But we know what will determine, you know, him coming off. And my batty wicket, we don't know. You know?
We know when you bat reckless, you hit your own wicket.
Well, I think this guy hit his thumbs off already. Not so? I'm asking what is the criteria? What we will consider knocking his thumbs out?
What event would have taken place that brought you to the conclusion that he hit his thumb?
Well, he's representing our government that's in power.
Yeah.
And he's not speaking for the audience. He's speaking for a 21 years and over crowd during the daytime, where parents go tune in and listen, and the children will by default hear what's going on. So you talking about the stuff that's going on in the lodge. We don't know if that is true. He know what men wear jacket without underpants and things. You know what I mean? This is shocking.
I don't know where he get that
This
from.
is shocking accusations.
I don't know where he get that from.
Well, I'm saying, so he could just say
and
anything then.
They didn't understand what was going on there.
You see, if he was Dave Chappelle, we laugh and flick the channel. But he representing our office. I ain't seen Khadija and them doing that. I ain't seen Barry doing that. I ain't seen Jolene John doing that. I ain't seen Monilal doing that. They probably have these things going on in their private life. But you don't want to see them taking to the camera and talking off point. You know what I mean? And then you have the man, this is the third accusation of him not representing the paternity of his child. You understand? So you're putting the fella, he's a loose cannon. What to say again? When it is the prime minister, because he represents her, and if she playing mad, well, the people go make a decision. You can't vex with them when they're fussing on the social media and saying what's going on. What it is going on. You understand? Now, when I say when I'm asking, I know a gentleman cannot say. You have your views. But you know what I'm saying is not make-believe. It's not a crazy thing. It's common sense, eh? Common sense. The language, the attitude, and then coming now, in the end, to say, this is war, and as an activist, and I'm now learning. That's BS. That's BS. He's been training for years. He knows the etiquette. He knows. Because when he was an activist, he could have put on jacket and tie and pretend he was in parliament. He used to do them skits. We all are aware of that. So he knows. He knows. So if he wants to be a social media man, let him do like Aishu and go and tour the Caribbean and talk madness. But once he taxpayers funding his salary and lifestyle, they have a say. This is an example that's going on. I find it right. I don't know. Probably other callers could call in and say, you're wrong. Or you're right. Right? So I'm listening off your brothers. But they take it easy. Very good show.
Thank you.
I must say.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you guys.
Yeah.
And we're going to segue from that comment into something else and link what the caller has just said. Let me just take this last call on this matter. This is a usual caller. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and good afternoon, David.
Yes, good
Last caller is absolutely right. Absolutely right. You know, many persons, in my opinion, have taken the position that based on what we endured as a country under Dr. Rowley, we are just to accept anything that comes our way with this new Ms. Pasabi Sessa government. And in as much as she is saying she's not micromanaging, Philip is not an MP, right? It's you that made him a minister. And the buck or the onus is on you to treat with him when he gets out of line, right? And as the caller rightfully say, what is the threshold that he has to meet for she to actually move him, right? To see that he is no good for the position. Take it. You understand? And I was saying, Jolene has always been a person to stand out amongst her peers. I don't know why some of the other ministers don't really take a page from her book, right? Because I just happened to see a video of her having a meeting with some of the workers of Ministry of Work. Close the door, please. With the Ministry of Work. And I know a number of people working there. And I'm saying, based on her interaction with them, we could only expect that it would boost the morale and probably the productivity of these individuals, the way in which she would have interacted with them. And Dave Tanku, well, that budget where he gave after the 9 budgets of Mr. Imbert, boy, in my opinion, he could hardly get anything wrong after delivering a budget like that, where instead of increasing the gas prices, you gave persons a respectable relief. I give him full points for that.
Thank you.
But as the last caller said, boy, there needs to be a threshold that is clear as it relates to what is acceptable and what is not. Because just making an excuse and then 2 days later, we might find you back up on the social media talking about who private parts and this and that and how you are half serious, so you get away. I said that rubbish. I mean, come on. And I don't know. I really don't know what to say. But before I go, do you all know anybody that is a person of the word? You could trust what they say. You all know anybody like that?
In Trinidad?
Anywhere in your personal life, you know anybody?
Yeah.
If they tell you this, you can bank on it.
Yeah, me.
Nice. I have been tasking my mind trying to find if any one of our politicians, MPs, ministers fall in that category. And if it is of any value for us here, because it is not now they have proven to be liars or persons who not afraid to tell untruths or shift the goalposts or change the narrative or spin. Oh, it's not now they've proven to us that they're comfortable with doing that, but we continue to give them unwavering, undying support, regardless of what side of the fence it's on. And the thing is, when you point out that it really genuinely have some people who wishing bad for the government, and you can find it on both sides, right? Because some people in a position where if this government do things and look too good, it will make the PNM party look bad and vice versa, and they can't allow that, right? And that is one of the challenges we facing. But nonetheless, this thing about making the party look bad or tearing down the party, it have this thing called foresight, and many of us have it. So if you are engaging in activities or whatever, or not doing certain things or doing certain things that persons can foresee where it is heading, it is not so much that people trying to tear down the government or don't want the government to do well, you know. It's that people are seeing ahead, right? Which some persons can do and some persons are incapable of. So when Ms. Prasad Bisesa on the campaign trail would have made all these statements about Dr. Rowley and his lying and this and that, and you come back and you lie to us after you win, then, I mean, I put you in the same bracket with Dr. Rowley, and I don't have high expectations of this government, right? I am hoping that we as the nation could actually learn something after this 5 years and make a change that actually worth your time in the voting booth. If Tobago could go out on a limb and change their colors, why can't we?
Yeah, thank you. You know, I before you move to the next level, I want to say that, you know, every time I hear people say that politicians lie, and they give examples of how they lie, and I look at it, I am nearer to believing that sometimes we say the lie, but really, what politicians do is that politicians do what they think they have to do in electoral politics to get your support, and not just get your support, but sometimes it might not necessarily be a lie. It might be a unreasonable or unrealistic expectation that they create, knowing that it is, or probably sometimes unknowing that it is. Sometimes collectively they think that they could do it, but when they get in, they realize, hey, we can't do this, or we will try to curtail it, or we will try it. It's like the PNM saying that we will not close down Petrotrin. But really knowing that you're going to close down parts of Petrotrin, and that is the part that the nation see as Petrotrin. Right? You will say it's not a lie, but really and truly, to most people who looking at it will say, well, they lie to us deliberately. And it's the same thing with most other politicians. Sometimes around election, if you're not mature enough to understand that is what takes place all over the world. That is what sometimes they have to do. Right? Because they understand the psychology of electoral politics, they understand the psychology of elections. You don't. Right? So they do things sometimes that they feel they have to do. I'm just saying.
So I want us to pay attention to the following discussion very carefully, because I'm going to set the stage and I'm going to play something as well, audio. And this is concerning Miss Julia Varvaro, a Department of Homeland Security Deputy Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism. She's under investigation after accusations arose related to her personal profile. The news network has learned that a high-ranking Department of Homeland Security official is on administrative leave after an investigation was launched into her alleged sugar daddy relationship, lavish spending, and drug use, according to the DHS, that's the Department of Homeland Security. The probe unfolded after a formal complaint was filed against Julia Varvaro, 29, the Deputy Homeland Security Deputy Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism. The man at the center of the allegations, described as a divorced father named Robert, told the news that he spent $40,000 on her during a 3-month relationship that began on a dating app, Hinge, before discovering that she had a profile on a website called Seeking, which markets itself as a space where love and luxury meet. He alleged that her Seeking profile was under the name Alicia and sought mutual beneficial relationship with masculine men. Varvaro denied the claims. Robert took Varvaro on posh getaways to Aruba, Italy, and Switzerland, purchasing her a 2005 Bottega handbag and taking her to a high-end jewelry store, Cartier. He added that during their travels, Varvaro flexed her government position at the TSA security lines and claimed that she could get VIP access to the Winter Olympics, allegedly bragging, "ICE works for me." In his formal complaint to the DHS Office of the Inspector General, which was reviewed by the news network, Robert said he believes that Varvaro is under financial stress and that her actions pose a severe threat to national security and national security risk. The DIS spokesman told Fox News that the office has a long-standing policy neither to confirm or deny the existence of any special investigation and could not provide additional details. He also told the outlet that he witnessed her use of marijuana on nearly a dozen occasions and take recreational Xanax. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Varvaro described the situation as a mad boyfriend putting crap together. I didn't know it was bad to go on a vacation with your boyfriend. The outlet said Varvaro admitted to being expedited through the airport security, but denied using marijuana and seeking Olympic VIP access. Sugar daddies pay for her college, insisting that her request to Robert for a credit card in her name was a kind of a normal thing. The scandal comes less than a month after photos were released of a former DHS secretary, Christy Noem's husband, Byron, which appeared to show him cross-dressing in a private message to 3 different women.
You know, yeah,
so let me just play part of the thing for the public to listen to, and we'll get back to it.
Trump appointed official has been put on leave after a bombshell report accused her of being on a sugar daddy website catering to young women looking for rich older men. Allison Hall has the details.
A top official at the Department of Homeland Security is under investigation today for allegedly asking sugar daddies to finance her lavish lifestyle. 29-year-old Julia Varvaro, the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism, has been put on administrative leave from her high-level job after her ex-boyfriend, who was 28 years her senior, claimed, "She told me that the $40,000 worth of jewelry on her wrists and ears are from her sugar daddies." In a formal complaint he filed with the Department of Homeland Security, he declared, "I believe that she's under financial stress and that her actions pose a security risk." Bob Bianchi, a 57-year-old wealthy software entrepreneur, says he whisked Varvaro away on luxury vacations in Aruba and Italy. In this photo, Varvaro holds a sign that reads, "She's horny." The businessman says he spent $40,000 on Varvaro in just 3 months. He also revealed text messages that he says show her asking for a new pair of shoes and help with her rent. When he pushed back, he says she responded, "Any past relationship would have jumped up and cared for me. I like feeling provided for, and you're not doing that for me, so not sure it will work." The Daily Mail claims they found a profile for Varvaro on a sugar daddy dating website known as Seeking Arrangements, which connects financially well-off older men with young women. According to the Daily Mail, Julia Varvaro called herself Alessia and offered seductive sophistication on the Seeking Arrangements website. Varvaro earned a PhD from St. John's University in New York, and Bianchi claims she told him she does not have college debt because sugar daddies paid for her college education. Miles Taylor, former chief of staff at the Department of Homeland Security, says if true, Julia Varvaro's lifestyle choices may be a national security issue.
Her alleged conduct is like the classic conduct that foreign intelligence services look for to try to blackmail someone. I mean, it's almost textbook.
Varvaro denies having a profile on Seeking Arrangement and says she did nothing wrong. "I didn't know it was bad to go on vacation with your boyfriend," she was quoted as telling the Daily Mail. "We went on vacations. I don't know what's the problem with that. This is just a mad ex-boyfriend."
That's my dad.
So, according to the...
You ever went on one of them dating sites in Trinidad? Long time there used to have one called Tag. They have one very popular one now called not Meets. Oh gosh. I on that site. Tinder. You know a catfish?
Yes.
That doesn't sound catfishes?
Yeah. Let me take this caller because he is a... Let me hear. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon. But sometime I've already do a story something similar to this, where the man send money to buy car and this and that and the other.
Yeah, that's the guy with the
the Vezel.
The Honda Vezel.
Yeah, but that wasn't like this.
But this one, for me, why we going through this one? What we're trying to talk about in this one is the link between your personal life, as some callers have raised, and your office. And they're saying not the things that she has done are not it's not a wrong or right matter, but because of the post she holds in the Department of Homeland Security, flaunting yourself, asking for money, and poses a threat to national security. Now, some people will argue that is your private life and you could do anything. But we've seen increasingly, because of the advent of social media, that is not necessarily true.
Not only that, as the story would have shown, when you hold those kind of position, foreign countries who have ill intent, who want to get national security information and that kind of thing, will target you.
Yes.
Easy for it becomes an easy target.
Yes. And the same might be said of politicians. Because sometimes we, as the public, try to excuse them and say, like their private life, that is their personal life, it's carnival. We make all kind of excuses, and it is not that they're not human beings. But
you have to be able to separate.
You have to be able to separate. And your office carries even when you're out of office, meaning after 4 o'clock. Right? So you don't just get to go by the bar, don't pay for your drinks, and cuss and carry on and say, well, I was outside of work. So this young lady is not really a wrong and right matter because she didn't commit a crime per se. But the argument, and she's been sent on leave, is that she poses a threat to her job.
National security, yes.
Well, based on all that you all have said, right? Then we're supposed to see politicians be held on preventative detention orders also. I mean, you see, this detention order to prevent somebody from doing something because you suspect that they might do it, is it only limited to persons outside of politics?
Well,
the kind of questions that arise, but as you say, the woman may not have committed a crime, but it just how to put it, boy? I guess some men not getting the memo.
Yes.
As it relates to how they pursue women, but it will only be a national security issue unless the trigger is applied and somebody actually moves on what she exposes. So yeah, they could probably use a preventative detention order. I wish they could do some of that right here in the parliament.
Understood.
How we know that somebody and do that with her?
Well, the fact is, countries like these don't wait for you to do it to them.
Yeah.
Much is expected of you.
Yeah.
And let's not use the off examples of the people who might get away. Good? And don't worry with your US president either, As bravado as he is, daily he has to account for the foolishness he says. The American public,
And long after he gone, he will have to account.
they listen to me. They look forward and behind, These societies. I saw today in the British Parliament the vote on Keir Starmer's, and the motion was whether he misled Parliament with the vetting issue of Mandelson. Now, the vote did not carry, but it just goes to show you that the British public is not relent. They don't relent.
Yes.
Especially the media and the facts, and it becomes a Parliament issue. The story didn't break first in the Parliament, but the parliamentarians are in touch. They're on the ground. They read, and they took it up. So
and on both sides.
And on both sides. Yes, the Labour won, but some votes, they didn't win enough Labour votes for it to carry. And one suspects that it wouldn't stop there. It would not stop there. The level of accountability for performance and conduct in these countries are very high. So don't look at Donald Trump now and feel he get away. No, sir. Long after the next election, especially if he doesn't win, he will have to answer some questions. They jail you in those countries if you're 99. It doesn't matter. Your DNA showed up on a on a crime scene, and you have to serve the time. It does not matter. The law looks back and forward, especially with certain types of crime. You are made to account. And this young lady, in her 20s, you know, she, and in her own naivety.
Yeah, but the thing is, beyond politics, I don't know if we understand how serious. This story tells a lot of stories.
Of course.
There's a lot of things to unpack about the
Correct.
story.
Correct.
And while we might be talking about her public life and interaction in her private life, most of us, we go on these kind of sites and we don't understand how these sites work. These are dating sites. People portray things that they aren't in most cases. And sometimes, especially women, when you meet them in real, they're nothing like what you see in picture. They might put up a picture when they were about 20 years ago. I mean, all kind of things happen, and then there's the other criminal element of it, because people get robbed from going on those sites. People get lured into situations, and all these things are things that, listening to the story, it demonstrates shades of, right? So we might be looking at the national security risk that she as a person in Homeland Security would pose just being on that site and doing what she do. But there are other issues in this that relates to even our situation in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And our own security.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
That is critical.
And this situation is of personal academic importance to me as well, because for my LLB paper, I examined the changes in the word misconduct due to the advent of social media, where we would have, especially in our local context, misconduct carries a work 8 to 4 definition.
Yeah.
But the jurisprudence has shown all over the world. South Africa, I examined the South African legislation, the UK legislation, and I think I did the Australian legislation. You could be in a coffee shop and be charged for misconduct.
Correct.
And be dismissed. Good? And you would have an argument about this is your personal time, your personal space, this is my own computer. It doesn't have anything to do with that. The definition for misconduct.
That reminds me of a story, right?
Yes. I know.
Oh,
of that story. Let me take this call. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Well, you point out that, Mr. Rollocks, and I believe that is the way it's supposed to be, because you could find these same public people, politicians, finding their way in people's private lives, telling them how to conduct themselves and live their lives. Right? So I feel rightfully so, it's supposed to be extended outside of just the mere 8 to 4. But you said something, Mr. Rollocks, about Trump, and if he doesn't win the next election, could our president serve more than 2 terms? I know it's a maximum, to my knowledge, a maximum of 2 terms. That is 4 and 4, 8, and it has some provision that could allow them 2 more years or something like that.
I think the word missing from your statement is consecutive.
Oh, okay. So you could serve 1 term, come out, and then come back in and serve as 2 terms.
Well, there seems to be some interpretation.
Yes.
Or some interpretation in the wording of the Constitution with respect to that, because there are a lot of people who believe that can happen.
Yes.
Trump seems to feel that he could get an next term.
Yes.
I wait to see where that will go and how that will go. I don't believe that maybe he should, and I don't believe that that the Constitution allows for that to happen. But they are serious.
Did Obama serve 2 consecutive terms?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I don't think you can serve 3 consecutive terms.
Well, we know that, but Trump would not have served 3 consecutive terms if he say go up and wins an election again, because he was out of office for 2
Yes,
terms.
it break it. Yeah.
Right? It was broken.
Yeah.
If you're going by Trump calculations, he never lost, you know.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but
and we see the same parallel here with some union leadership. You know, we have had union leaders for life.
Yeah, but
He might
what you think?
but
I mean,
yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
All right. So this story has a lot to unpack, as we were saying. You know, that whole distinction between private life, public service. People who want to live a private public life. There's such a thing. A private public life. I remember watching a documentary on Michael Jackson. As I remember, there's a show out on now. It's by a movie out on him. And Michael Jackson was complaining that from a very young age, he could not go out in public. He was a child star, but not allowed to be a child because of the trappings of stardom. Good? He had to be very circumspect and very adult, and we did not remember all the time that this was a little boy. Little boys who do what little boys do. This was not a grown man. But the critics replied and say, deal with it. That's what stardom. There's no stardom for teens and stardom for babies. It's stardom. Deal with it. And we make the parallel with office and high office. The expectations for high office are high because of the office you hold. But somehow we seem to want high office holders with a low bar. Oh God, give my blinder. He's just the minister, so I'm if he smoke a little thing. You know? Or I'm if he, oh God, so you ain't gonna feed your family too? So you give family a contract. You know, we tend to set the bar low. And we try to make excuses for, and this is this is not akin to British politics. The British government and the British people hold their politicians especially to a very, sometimes it's a...
Your head on the edge of the earth.
You're on the edge.
Edge.
Don't you dare. Good? And don't just say, well, it was just, you know, a man was found in a party in COVID.
A prime minister.
After telling people, no party.
Oh, God.
And that was the straw
that broke the
camel's back.
That
brought him down. He could not account for that. Good? And they had footage. They had everything, guest list. He had a proper party. He had a zest going on in the people COVID with all the restrictions that the government, and as head of government, that was proven to be unacceptable. And then they said goodbye to him. When you think about our politics, do we have the same threshold for our political leaders and government officials and even public servants?
I think our moral bar is different. Although our laws and everything else and rules, regulations and that kind of thing sometimes lead us in the right direction, we have too many areas, too many gray areas where we are able to slip through.
Well, remember, I guess the big difference is these are countries that have certain conventions.
Right, conventions.
Because these are not legal things.
Correct. So this is what I'm saying. So it's morals.
Yes.
So with Britain, for instance, most of everything they do have a constitution per se. They operate on common law and conventions and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they play that's their guidelines.
Yes.
Whereas we look at constitution, we look at the black and white, we look at what the law say and what it doesn't say.
If you break any law, carry to the police.
Yeah. Right?
That's what we say.
They don't operate like that.
No.
So their bar will obviously
be higher.
Because they don't leave anything up
for chance,
for interpretation. Correct. And that kind of thing.
Correct.
Here we
play smart
we
with
look
it.
at the law. So somebody will play smart with the law.
And two lawyers will eat our food.
And
we will throw it in the court.
Correct. It is not like that in Britain.
No.
Right? Their common law and their conventions and that kind of thing says everything.
Yes.
Right? And they have common law for everything.
Yes.
So the thing is...
And America to a high extent, because that is a lot about the complaints with Trump. A lot of the complaints with Trump is that it's not that he's done illegal things, but he has broken nearly all the conventions of presidential office.
All.
Picking fights, language, lack of diplomacy.
Everything.
And these are institutions that have been hundreds of years old and centuries old. And this man is...
And a lot of them are written in the US.
Yeah.
As opposed to Britain.
Yeah. But even if they're not written, there are things that they hold dear. They hold dear. You know, like attacking women. That's not something you do. You know, that's not something that is a joke. You don't joke about that. And he has a record for doing that. But I want you to call in and tell me what you think about our local politicians, our local public servants, and we talk about the high office. Don't call me and tell me about the gardener and the girl in the office who only thing is she nail. Well, who have long nails, and I'm talking about people of whom much is given, to whom much is given. Good, either politically or responsibly in terms of responsibility, in terms of organization. Do you feel we hold them to a very high moral bar in Trinidad and Tobago? Or not? Do you think that we hold our leaders, let me just put it that way, our leaders, that's the best word for them, and they could be political, they could be administratively, to a high bar. And I say that in the context of the two highest ranking officials in the foreign service in the British have resigned over the Keir Starmer flop. They were testifying today in an inquiry and saying, listen to me, we were wrong, we ill-advised the Prime Minister, look our resignation.
Even though they may not have done it.
Even though they may not have done it.
Done it willfully.
Yes.
But their actions would have suggested.
Correct. And
that does not happen in Trinidad.
Yes, and they say, listen to me, we were not under pressure. We were told to get it done quickly. But we can't interpret that as being pressured. It is incorrect. Therefore, the Prime Minister who practiced the don't ask, don't tell policy that they have, he wasn't told. He was not told. We admit that he was not told. Good? And he didn't ask because we practice don't ask, don't tell. Good? But he was not told. And they take full responsibility. And I was shocked. I was saying, look how these gentlemen, and then the news asked whether they think they were forced to. And the news said, no, this is how we do things in this country. It didn't look like they were trying to protect anybody. Matter of fact, they'd have better claim saying that the Prime Minister is an old dog and he forced we, if they were trying to be sensational in any way. But do you think we hold our office holders, our leaders to high moral standing in this country? Do you think we hold them? Do you think we have a high bar for them in this country of Trinidad and Tobago? Because we keep asking what is going wrong and what we're doing wrong, and we have all these laws, but this supersedes law. This supersedes law. If law is what we would rely on all the time, then we doom.
There's more moral imperatives and moral dilemmas and how we see ourselves.
We doomed if we use the law as a shield. Good? Because the people who understand the law find what the word is, is lacuna in the law very often. And they widen it big. And more people pass through. How you think we, in your view, how do we hold our office holders? How do we treat with our leaders in the country? In your view, do we hold them to high moral standing? The number to call is 342-0081 4665-391. And we're not talking about bacchanal and sensationalism and who are 5 women, and we're not talking about things like that. Good? We're not talking about things like that. We're talking about high moral standing consistency, openness, transparency, and even their conduct. You know, how do we king worship them? Do we make kings out of them?
That's exactly what we do.
Yeah, and then blame them for peeing on us. Huh?
So you make a king out of me.
Yeah.
And then when I piss on you and tell you it's raining here, and you eventually find out it was pee.
Yeah.
You're having a problem.
Yeah. And you know,
I know I pee on you all the time, and everybody's saying it's rain
and
falling.
then, and we all agree to tell you it's rain falling, and we tell you, repeat after me.
Yeah, it's rain falling.
It's rain falling. I was watching the other day, and please call us and interrupt us at any time and tell us how you think we interact with our leaders. What bar we hold them to. The number to call is 342-0081-4665391 from your observation.
And sometimes for petty political gains, we support it.
Correct.
We fight for them first.
And it wrong like a O.
And they know it wrong like a O. They are all feeling it. Until something start happening to them.
Correct.
And they say, oh, you know,
I had some time to binge watch House of Dragons. I don't know if you ever watched that series.
I never watched that series.
You must watch that series. I like those. Listen, you can't beat the Romans and those Gothic era. You can't beat them, especially for the diction. And I was very, very observant to hear the king say, as drunk as he was, "I'll have your tongue." You can't even utter what you say. It has nothing to do with whether you're making sense or not. You cannot speak like that to the king. So when somebody tell you they'll take out your tongue,
they'll literally take out
that is the end of that for you. Like no comments ever, you know. And I was watching how the king exacted and executed punishment on his subjects and everybody. It was at will. It was impunity. He didn't have no appeal court. He didn't have no privy council. The king, it stopped at the king. It stopped at the king. As a matter of fact, and I was listening to the king say, well, you will marry him. He told his daughter, you have to get married. It's not about how you feel, darling. We're trying to tie up a little deal here. And this is what you have to do. Do we make kings of our leaders in Trinidad and Tobago? Do we make kings of them? Have we made kings of them? And then blame them for spoiled behavior. Blame them for being runaway horses. You are disrespectful. Yes, because you worship him. Because you're there screaming in your jersey. Sweating. Yeah, okay, no way, you know. But you're waving flag. Your master, have we made kings of them? Have we, by our own conduct, knight them? and they themselves, the day after election, saying, "Wait, now is our king today? Wait, now the people love me."
I wonder what I will do now.
Yeah.
How I solve this problem now.
Correct. Yeah, you come here. Yeah, and they listen. This time them guessing, you know. They don't know for what. Yesterday they wasn't working anywhere. Yesterday I was in my little office. They pray for me, you know. Let me have a little prayer tomorrow for the election. And, next day you win. You teleport to be a king. People asking you, we could get water, we could get lights, we could get we would pave. I'm saying, come and meet me Wednesday. You can't pave no road.
You don't even know who's the man.
You don't even know how to do that. You don't even know Kusal number. You don't have nothing. But you have title and then you get driver, then you have special branch.
Even if you have Kusal number, it don't work like that.
It don't work like that. And you have to get special branch and say, no. Here's a bus route pass. Bus route? I was going to take a maxi. and no, sir. You're entitled to an interest-free loan. Loan? Yes, we have this Prado here for you and you could buy it when you're... Prado? Your whole life changed. The trappings of high office. Can be so
laugh.
Can be so addictive. You could imagine how your life changed. go buy, and I was wondering how to buy them groceries.
So that is maybe that is one of the motivating things that
Yeah.
that makes it.
It could be a drug.
What we call what the citizens the proletariat call lies.
Yes, yeah,
That-
but
that might be
that's
one of the
well,
things
and that's
that
why I went
motivate
there.
them. Huh?
That's why I went there, because you could see how an ordinary man, who in any aristocratic arrangement would be a pleb.
Mhm.
I heard that when I was watching the movies. Those plebs give trouble. The king was saying that.
Like I could have say the recalcitrant minority.
Yeah. You see that man used to turn off his hearing it. Say, oh Lord. You could imagine how people's life change, election outcomes change people's life. Good? And all of a sudden, people looking up to you. I come to the office to see the MP.
A man who was nobody before.
No, but my daughter's sick. You not even the minister or nothing. You good? Or usually the MP for son, you ain't really get no portfolio yet. But people line up with a bag of expectations and wishes. We want this, and listen to me. We have a little concert in the village. You could donate anything. Oh God, MP, oh gosh, give me a little 3,000 and people come with the price, eh?
He said, check me.
Check me.
Check me.
Yeah.
And you go, you had to make appointment, you had to sit down, you had to wait.
Yeah. You don't want to go in your office. Maybe that's why some of them don't go in their office. You know? Because the people, they're waiting on you. You promised me something for the Christmas concert. He tell me, the MP, ma'am, he told me he will help me out for the Christmas concert. Look, I have my list here. How much for your goods? It's about $5,000 for MP. He ain't get paid yet. We gotta find the expectations we have of these people.
And this is what we see. I mean, you listen to people like KFC and some of these people talk with who have animosity, who have animosity for people who they once loved and they looked up to and they fought for and that kind of thing, and you understand how they reach from there to here, and you're just saying it.
Yeah.
That's how. And that's unfortunate because as a public, we haven't mature enough to understand that is just the nature of the beast. We gotta understand that.
Yeah, and listen to me. And it's hard. There's a harsh reality to say, ma'am, the MP can't do what you think he could do. The powers, you see powers?
You know, Selvon Mitchell.
Yeah.
I like to listen to how he narrate this, right? Yeah, a lot of ministers themselves, a lot of MPs themselves be fronting. You can't do that.
You cannot do that.
Right?
And you're going on threatening people too.
Yeah, you cannot do that.
Yeah, you all lost your work. You can't give anybody.
You can't do that.
Yeah. You don't really hire.
You
like
don't
that.
hire, you don't do none of them thing. Captains of
You have to
industry
call
and-
somebody else and
yes,
beg.
that kind of thing. You have to beg. You have to write a letter to some
Correct.
board director or somebody and say, well, hire this person for me now. See
But
what
the expectations for the masses, especially the supporters, are that because my party win, my life will change.
Yes. And those are the unfortunate part of the unfortunate realities that that pervades systems like these, and you have the kind of confusion right after a year after you win elections.
Yeah.
You have the kind of confusion with your supporters.
Yeah.
Right? If you feel that you're hearing people like KFC and all of them talk now, give me the next 12 months and when nothing happen in the economy to change the reality of certain things.
Yes.
You'll hear how it will go.
All these promises are based on a certain premise.
That we have the funding to do it.
Yeah.
Or we have the people in place, the positions to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. It's just
not,
promise.
It's not going to happen.
It's just air.
Yeah. And it is not always an intention to deceive. It's
But
not
this,
that.
this one, but I said that.
Yeah.
I said that.
Some really
It is
come
not-
with real no.
Most of the time,
I will help you.
Most of the time, you say it with good intention. You didn't promise, you didn't plan to deceive. You just say it because it was ill advised. You didn't have that information.
Because who really doesn't want to help?
Exactly.
And I have to understand it from the MP or the politicians. I want to help you.
But that's what I say earlier on. At the end of the day, they sometimes they say it with good intentions.
Yeah, I want to help you. I just had to talk to the minister though in Wassa, who had to talk to the PS, and that had to go through a whole process.
Who had to talk to the board,
Yeah.
board member.
Correct.
Who had to talk to HR.
Yeah.
Who had to talk to,
Yeah, and then we will get to the water truck man eventually.
Mhm.
Take care of some water.
Correct.
But I can't pick up my phone and call the water truck man. It doesn't happen like that. And that might be the time between I picking up my phone and you getting your water, if you get it, might be a very long time.
Correct.
Then you hear the MP ain't doing nothing for me.
Mhm.
And politician ain't doing nothing for me.
Clearly, well, you see, what all of that demonstrates is that we have to change that system.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe our MP supposed to be a dedicated person just dealing with the representation of the people.
Yes.
Maybe, I just saying.
Yes.
Right? And maybe a minister, a professional, maybe from a professional, somebody like yourself or myself or,
Yeah.
who have the requisite knowledge and information and that kind of thing in that particular field.
Will be the technical person.
To be able to do what a minister does.
Yeah.
Right? So therefore, what you will end up having is more service to the people in the areas to try to fulfill those promises. And then there will have to be a conduit between, maybe an emissary or some kind of conduit between that MP, that representation of the people, and the minister and the industry and wherever to be able to get things done. But they must have that kind of power to be able to do so.
Under 20 seconds, senior, take us out.
Well, as usual, we are here on evenings. This is the Third Empire, and we are here to decipher what you find in the news. We've done that very good this evening, and we look forward to doing that tomorrow again.
Nature's Touch Massage Therapy and Nutrition and Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan invites you to join us live on the Street 919 FM every second